Oh, I'm already on there. YouTube usually takes a while before it connects up. It's already on there. Okay, just hooking up to TikTok. My big audience is on TikTok, but I record my lives on YouTube, so that's where they're permanently kept. Hello, Dot. That's a simple name. Dot, or is it full stop? Dot for short. Anyway, just think I'm funny. Sorry about that. Anyway, while we're waiting for people to turn up, if you could tell, the person on TikTok, they just had Dot as their name, like one little period. It was cute. Chelsea's hair, cute. What does that mean when you've got A4 beside your name? Had like a triangle? Or is that just you're using emojis? I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, so wasn't on here yesterday. I didn't have time yesterday. I don't know what happened. The whole day just got away from me. So where are you from? I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. Gorgeous sunny day today. And I'll be doing a really big bike ride later, so I'm excited about that. The biggest bike ride I ever did was, I think it was 6 hours. And we took an hour off in the middle for lunch. But yeah, it just about killed me. And it was on a super hot day. I've done that ride a few times. I'm not a real strong cyclist, but anyway, try and keep up. So I love fitness. Okay, where are you from? Mummy Zombie. What part of the world are you from? Sorry, I'm just in a stare. Just waking up here. I've been working all morning, but I'm just waking up. Okay, so where are you from? What time is it? It's 11:15 here in Vancouver. I'm just asking people where they're from. And hi, Emmy. And before we get going, it's only 10 people on Oklahoma. Hi, Oklahoma. Very slow morning. I'm not usually on here this time. So Romania. Hi, Romania. You've been here before, Alina. Missouri. Galveston. Oh, Galveston. UK. Do you always say it like that? Galveston. Oh, Galveston. Was that Glenn Campbell? I think so. Utah. Hi, Utah. UK. Georgia. Finland. Hi, Finland. So you're Dot. I love all the advice you give. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. It's that encouragement that keeps me on here, because I get a lot of haters too, and I'm okay with that too. But it's nice to get the other also. London, UK. Hi, London. Gemma. Yeah, what does that mean? You've got that A4 beside your name. Is that just an emoji? What is that? Is that, or does it mean something on here? I'm just trying to learn. Laguna Niguel. Laguna Niguel, California. I'm going to look that up. Laguna. Never heard of it. Whoops. Laguna Niguel. Sorry, I just got to look that up. Laguna. Oh. Never heard of it. Laguna Niguel. Orange County. Oh, okay. Interesting. I learn a lot about places just from here. Haters, you're trying to educate people. No, you know what? There's a lot of people, when people disagree with you, they come on here pretty hard, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. So yeah, of course you're going to get haters. I'm very polar in what I talk about. And when you're polar, meaning you really pick a lane, you're going to get haters, and that's fine. We're allowed to be different. So I have no problem with any of that. Texas, you know I'm going to come down there one day soon. Glenn Campbell, can't say Galveston without singing it. Love you and message, thanks. I'm going to tell you a funny story. When I lived in Australia for 20 years, I used to say downtown. They don't say it like that. They say we're going into the city. And they said every time we hear downtown, they think of that Petula Clark hit, downtown. every time I said I'm going downtown, they go, downtown. Well, Australians aren't that extroverted, but that's what they'd tell me behind the scenes. You know, when you used to say downtown, that's what we always thought. And I'll tell you another funny story about living in Australia. I was there for 20 years, and my husband was Australian. I never had one North American friend, no Canadians, no Americans at all for 20 years. Anyway, I was at a parade one day. It was in South Bank in Queensland and in Brisbane. And there was this parade, and Australians are very reserved. They just are. When they're traveling and drinking, they're not. But think about it. They still don't give you a lot. Like, they don't tell you a lot until you get to know them. Anyway, so I was at this parade, and no one was saying anything. There was no applause, no chatter. And so at the very end of the parade, I started clapping, and I started marching at the end of the parade with everybody. And I was clapping and laughing, like as if I was part of the parade. And this other person came in the parade, and I looked at them, and they said, "Are you American?" I said, "No, Canadian." They were American. It's just so funny. That's the first time I really related to someone there, like on that level, like just extrovert. Because Australians just wouldn't do that. Funny thing is, all these Australians got in on the back of the parade, and they were laughing too. Not to say that they're not fun people, but they're just more reserved. But yeah, it was so funny. I thought you have to be American to do that, or Canadian, right? So it's like high five. It was funny. Okay, yeah, all my friends were Australian or New Zealand or Palm English. Oh, I think because I've joined your live twice. Last time it was number one. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So, is that what that means? Interesting. Okay. Okay. Someone said she's a tough one. She can handle it. Yeah, the haters are important to me also because it means I'm shaking things up. So, and sometimes I won't get much hate on here. So I will test the waters by if I put anything about ignoring tantrums, the haters come after me again. So I think, oh, thank God I'm still relevant. So it's just psychology, right? I love all this stuff. Anyway, 'cause any attention is good when you're trying to make a difference out there. So I'm going to get going now. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go on my website, it's bratbusters.com, and you can hire me for coaching, buy one of my courses, or download my free behavior board. I also have my new course that's out there if you have 3 to 12-year-olds. Also, I just want to come out with this idea I had. I would say most of my followers here on TikTok probably are toddler parents. And I always say, toddlers are just crazy. But really, I was thinking, you need something, like you need more from me in that way. Like, I'm just thinking, what can I do? How can I serve the toddler parents better? Like in my business, something where, I'm putting something out there in a product kind of thing. And I thought, I got this idea, and I just thought, what if I just had a membership site where I just turn it once a week, we do a group coaching session and call it Talking About Toddlers. And you can see each other, and it would be like a membership site, and you just turn up and you can talk about how your toddler's driving you nuts, and we can all relate to all this stuff. So I thought, is that something that you might be interested in? I'm just sort of thinking about it. I haven't, really, because it wouldn't take me anything to put that out there. It would be very quick for me to just get that out there. Anyway, yeah, so it wouldn't be, someone said, Tash, hi, Tash. The new course is great. Eric and I have seen exceptional progress with our 4 kids. Tash was one of my beta group that went through the course with me for the first time. And oh my God, the results were way, way better than I thought they were going to be. And I couldn't figure out why, because I thought, how, with one-on-one coaching, how can the results, and they're almost as good as one-on-one coaching, if you haven't got crisis stuff or something really, you need a lot of help emotionally. One-on-one coaching is really good for that. But I figured it's because you've got each other. You're looking at each other too, and you're like, I'm not alone. Oh, I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one that's struggling. And so I think that's what made it so great. Anyway, I just loved it. Romania, hi, Romania. I would absolutely be interested. Yeah, if you have any ideas, let me know, or you could even say on here. But I was thinking just talking about toddlers, because I think you need more emotional support than anything. The information is just toddlers are crazy. That's about all the information you're going to get from me about toddlers. That's not true, but I think that's funny. Anyway, so yeah, I've just been thinking about maybe putting that out there. I might do a test and see if anyone signs up for it. But yeah, I think you guys need each other to see you're all going nuts with toddlers. They can really drive you nuts. I get it. They're all feet, no brains. They are crazy, but they're cute as a button too, right? Oh my God, there was this little, my kids were so cute. But my daughter especially, because she had long blonde hair, she got so much attention when I was terrified someone was going to grab her. She was just long blonde hair on like a 2-year-old. She was just stunning. And I saw this little toddler the other day and looked just like her, the big rosebud lips and just as cute as a button. I thought, wonder if that mom worries too, that someone's going to snatch that kid up. But yeah, cute as a button. And my son was adorable too. He was so chat. He was my first. He was so chatty and so he was like my best buddy. When he went to kindy at grade and 3 years old, they couldn't understand him because it was just him and I during the day all day. And it was just him and I talking. He had a Canadian accent. Plus, when they're 3, you can't always understand them anyway. So you can imagine the teacher said they never knew what he was saying. And then my daughter didn't have the Canadian accent because she had her brother to talk to, who was who ended up, after a year or two in school, he was all Aussie. Okay. My family's going through some trauma health-wise and job-wise, and my kids are acting out. Yeah, stuff's going to happen. Life's going to get in the way, and it's really difficult because getting respect and getting families organized, it takes time and dedication. You can't always do it all. If you're dealing with trauma and health issues, something's got to take a hit, and it just does. So I was just watching something on TV, and it was actually a Dr. Phil. It came up because it was parenting, right? So it came up on my feed here, and it was Dr. Phil. His mom came on, and she goes, I haven't showered in 5 days. I've got a business to run. I got 3 kids. I'm just strung out. And I just sort of felt like saying, and she wants to do it all. And I'm like, you can't. How can you do it all? You got a family, a business. She just had a million things on the go. She couldn't even find time to shower. She got up at 5 every morning. And I'm like, there is no such thing as super mom. There's no such thing. You cannot do it all. Something's got to take a hit. So is it going to be work? Is it going to be a family? Is it going to be your hygiene? Like, what's going to take a hit? You can't do it all. So just you have to pick a lane, and you can pick a few lanes, but you can't expect to be great at them all. Okay, it's impossible. Something's got to give. Yes, I have an almost 10-month-old, so I'll be soon needing something like that. Yeah, I think it'll be talking about toddlers, I think, and toddlers are 1 to just under 3. So I think I'll do a test. I'll throw it out there and see if anyone buys into it, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know yet, but I loved, loved, loved the group coaching program. That's my new course, and the group coaching. And then someone said, could you charge less money? And because it's $497, and they said, could you charge less money and just have the course, not the group coaching, so we can save some money? And I thought, I'm not doing that. I could, but I don't want to. Do you know why? I don't want to miss out. I want to be in on it. I'm loving it. That's the best part, is that I'm in on it too. Like I get to see how you're doing. I don't want to just send a course. Maybe one day it'll just be a course, but right now I don't want to miss out. I love talking to you guys. I just love it. And this is great too, but it's the Zoom is way better, the group coaching, because I get to see your faces and you're talking. So this is just typing, which is great too, but it's that next level of connection, which is what keeps me going. I'm not someone who just wants to put something out there and make money. I want to be part of it. So it's just so much fun. I love, love, love hearing from parents. And you're all like my kids' ages now. So like I'm an old lady now. So it's fun. Like I feel like I'm mothering you all. It's great. Okay. Okay. My 4-year-old son, he only knows how to do number 2 in the toilet. Oh, it's usually the other way around. But number 1 always makes accidents what to do. There's all sorts of things that you can do. I won't get into great detail about some of them. The most popular one is the ping pong ball. So he has to hit that in the toilet. But even that can splash, right? Another one, how should I say this? No, I'm going to get flack for this one. I just know I am. Yeah, I don't want to say it. But there's a few, look it up. There's lots of creative things out there that you can do. I don't want to talk about it on here. But yeah, it's a little bit out there, but it works really well, evidently. Sorry about that. I just can't. But yeah, try the ping pong ball, perhaps. That's a real popular one. There's lots of ideas out there. How to get little boys to not mess up when peeing. Just Google that. I know, just trying my best to get it all okay, one step at a time. Yeah. I talk a lot about this, especially in coaching. A lot of my clients are very, very type A personalities. They have successful businesses, they have kids, and they say, the house is falling apart, the kids are falling apart. The business is good though. So I say, well, there's always something that's good. And then the rest are sort of or there's always something that's usually good and the rest just aren't great, right? So not quite as good, they're falling behind. You have to pick one where you're going to put most of your energy, and that's going to be your main focus. I usually obviously suggest the kids. The housework I suggest last. And just get meals in if you have to. So let all that stuff go. I love cleaning, so I would never have let that one go because that's my meditation. But I understand most people hate it, so I totally get that. And but yeah, work, you can't be great at everything. It's impossible. Years and years ago, I don't know if it was one of the Shrivers. I don't remember who it was. Anyway, they were saying, yes, you can do it all. You can be Superwoman. Anyway, this was like 30 years ago. I remember watching this. And I thought, bull. Anyway, they were saying, yes, you can do it all. And they had nannies and everything. Anyway, one of the kids, I don't know who it was. It might not have been the Shrivers or the Kennedys, one of that clan. It was like someone like that. And they were saying, yes, you can do it all. If you earn enough money, then you can afford live-in nannies and all this stuff and maids and all that. Anyway, they were going on like this. Wasn't a very popular talk, obviously. People were all sitting there like, yeah, right. And anyway, so then years later, those kids grew up and said they really missed out on the parents. So yeah, that just proved to, and I already knew. So, but it just proved, like you can't do it all 100%, which is fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it all, but don't expect it all to be 100%. That's the thing. Yes, you can do it all, but 33% there, 33% there, 33. You know what I'm saying? You can't be 100% in everything. But yeah, you can do it all if you want. If that makes you happy, then do it all. But don't expect everything to be perfect. Use Cheerios. Yeah, Cheerios in the toilet. I've heard of that one. That's another good one. I'm going to write that down. I forgot about that one. Cheerios in toilet. It's a little bit better than the ping pong ball, I think. I always worry about flushing that thing. Plus, I had my son sit down. He wasn't allowed to stand up to pee. He had to sit down. And I showed him when he was little, I held it down initially, and then it just became a habit. So I never saw one dribble with him. Yeah, because I made him sit down. I just chose to do that. He's 33. I'm sure he's standing up now. Oh, don't talk about that. It's gross thinking about your adult son that way. Okay, just erase all that. Inappropriate. Okay. My very confident, happy four-year-old's teacher is teaching her bad nerves, and it's all she's bad nerves, bad words, teaching her bad nerves, and it's all she says now. I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean, neato? Don't know what you mean by that. Okay. I mean, he always tells me he wants to do number 2, but number is all over the floor. Yeah, super common. Super common. And by the way, I never get kids to clean up messes. I just don't. I don't ever punish for bodily functions. You got to watch that because it would be like bedwetting. You never punish for that. You never shame them for that. But you just say, hey, look, there's a mess there. Here's how to avoid that next time. So, but yeah. Teaching her that it's common and normal to be nervous about everything. Yeah, I don't know about that. Hi, Joy. Oh, that's what that means, 19. So you've seen 19 lives. Is that what that means? I don't know what that means. Anyway, yeah, she's 4, I think you said, right? 4-year-old. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what's going on there. It's unusual. Like I haven't come up with that. A teacher that teaches children that it's okay to be nervous. Which is, yeah, it's okay to be nervous about things. Yeah, I just don't know what exactly is going on there. Like maybe your daughter's discussing, like maybe it's not quite the way your daughter is interpreting it. Like it's okay to be nervous when you get up and talk in front of the class. Maybe that's what she's saying. See what I mean? Like I'm not defending the teacher. I don't know what's going on there, but quite possible your daughter may be interpreting it wrong. Because that is usually teachers, they're pretty clued into what's going on. And they're corrected very quickly by other parents. And so, yeah, I'm just suggesting maybe it's the interpretation might be a little bit off. Because your child's only 4. That's really little. You'd be amazed what they pick up on, like how they interpret things differently. It's so a different example, but this is so cute. It's how little kids interpret things. There was this little kid about 8 years old, and it's a true story. The mother decided that this 8-year-old is old enough now to walk down to the bus stop, wait for the school bus, and then go to school. So, because she had to get to work earlier or something. So anyway, she taught him how to do this. Okay, here's where the bus stops. You get on the bus, and then you go down, right? So anyway, the next morning, this child's all on his own, and he decides, okay, great, I know what I'm doing. He walks to the bus stop. The bus isn't there, so he goes home. Everything's locked up. He's scared. He's crying. The neighbors find him. He didn't know you have to stand there and wait. The mom hadn't put that information in there. Like she said, you go to the bus stop, the bus comes, you get on. So how they interpret things is, you really got to be very specific with kids. Okay, I have a 14-year-old daughter. The flunked at school, doesn't care, don't know how to go. Yeah, okay, you got to hire me for that. That's a bigger issue. I can't give you a general TikTok answer. If you want me to work with you, that would be probably 5 sessions. Most teenage stuff is 5 sessions. But if you want, you can buy one, take me out for a test drive, and then upgrade to the 5-session package. Some parents do that. So anyway, that's on my website, bratbusters.com. Can't give you a quick tick. That's not a TikTok answer. Okay. She now comes home and says she's nervous to make a drink, too nervous. She's, yeah, I don't think the teacher's telling her to be nervous to do it. I think she's kind of potentially using it to her advantage. Potentially. I don't know, though. I would have to, if you want my help with that, you have to hire me for coaching, and I'll assess that situation. Yeah, I don't know, Katie B. My stepdaughter prefers living with her. I don't usually talk directly to step parents because I don't know any advice I might give you. The biological parent might not agree with it, so that's why I only teach parenting or guardian who's a legal guardian. Okay, my stepdaughter prefers living with her other parent. We have her during the week. How do I not personalize? We have the school schedule routine, whereas the other parent does not. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Those are complicated issues when you've got, blended families, step parents, and all that stuff. Those are never straightforward answers. You're gonna have to hire me. Sorry about that. You're gonna have to hire me. That's 3 in a row. You have to hire me for that to figure that out. I need context. I need to assess the situation before I could help you with that. Yeah, there's too much going on. Okay, and you asked about your 2-year-old granddaughter to stop hitting. I don't give grandparenting advice. It's only for parents because they might not like what I say. But maybe you can tell the parents that I do have a course on toddlers who hit. It's just a $29 mini niche course, and it's on my website, bratbusters.com. It goes into great detail about that. Otherwise, you could look at I have a whole bunch of videos on that too. So I just did one the other day, 2 days ago, I think, on toddlers who hit. So you might want to check that out. Okay. Enjoy you so much, Joy. Hi, Joy. We have the same parenting style. My kids grown, now grandkids. You are a help. Yeah. I find that parents of older kids usually agree with me. The haters usually have little kids, and they're into that whole trendy style right now, which is, validating all their feelings, rolling out the red carpet, trying to make life easy for them. I don't do that. So yeah, I don't do any of that. I want to toughen them up a little bit. But anyway, so yeah, usually grandparents and parents who've raised their family, they go, yeah, I get it. Because everything I teach is experience-based. It's nothing trendy. It's just what works. Um, that reminds me of that story when my son was in a mall. I tell this story a lot. He was 3 years old. It was his second to last tantrum that I remember anyway. Anyway, we're in the mall, crowded mall. It was loud, and he starts to have a tantrum for no reason. Nothing had happened. That I was like, what? A piece of fluff went in front of him? I don't know. So he starts to have a tantrum. So I pulled him away from the stairs, put him up against a store window, got out my nail file, and just stood there ignoring him. I'm just waiting. I'm modeling calm behavior. I always say, ignore the crazy, reward the calm. So I'll tell you how that all works. Anyway, but all these young moms kept walking past. Oh, you should give him a hug. Discuss his feelings. I'm like, oh God, give me a break. Keep going, keep going. But all these grandparents and moms with older kids kept coming up to me and saying, congratulations, you know what you're doing. And I'm like, yeah, I do. But that's experience. You can't beat that. Parenting is experience-based. It's not something you can just read and get it all. It has, there's just so much wisdom that comes with parenting that you just can't explain it. But yeah. I'm lucky. I had a lot of experience with kids before I had my own. That's the only reason parenting was pretty easy for me. So just because I volunteered with hundreds of kids before I had my own. All sorts of challenges. I never worked with easy kids. It was a lot of physical, mental disabilities, or just challenges like ADHD, some autistic, which is a challenge. all sorts of challenges. And that's where I learned all this. And then I had my own kids, and it was like, oh, toddlers still annoyed me though, because toddlers are all feet, no brains. You can't reason with them, can't make any sense out of them. They were cute as a button, and I loved it. But what I did with my kids when they were toddlers, I just childproofed the whole house so I could just relax and enjoy them. And that was how I made the toddler years easy. You can't reason with a toddler. If you can, good luck with that. I mean, you might want to write a book because they might just be easy. My daughter, you could have reasoned with her, but only because she was so easy. But there was no reasoning. You just say no to her and she just wouldn't do it. She didn't like confrontation in any way, shape, or form. Whereas my son would have probably had a tantrum. My daughter never did. So it's not that she was easy to reason with. She just didn't like anything. She didn't like getting in trouble in any way, shape, or form. And so she never got in any. She never did anything. It was very rare. Struggling with my 2-year-old biting in daycare. Yeah, you might want to check out I have a mini course on that, toddlers who hit, bite, etc. So you might want to check that out. It goes into great detail, but it's just a little mini course. If not, I have a whole bunch of videos on that. It just goes into how you deal with it. Toddlers are not about words. They're all about consistent corrective action because they learn through repetition. They don't learn through words. They just don't. These mini therapy sessions drive me freaking sane. Let's discuss your big feelings. Oh God, they just aren't they're for you. They're not for your toddler. They are useless. They're garbage. They're a total waste of time. Toddlers are consistent corrective action. This is under 3-year-olds I'm talking about. They're all action, not words. Oh, anyway, by the way, with my son having that tantrum, because he didn't last that long, this is in the mall. As soon as he finished, I said, oh, you all done? Okay, let's go. I would not discuss that tantrum. I think it's humiliating. And I think what a waste of time. He already knows it was dumb. He gets that. Certainly wouldn't work with me, I'll tell you. Okay. Any advice for rebellious 14-year-olds? If they're rebellious, it means that you're probably the authority parent, or if they're wiping their feet on you, you're the pleaser. So are you trying to be the authority and tell them what to do and be in charge? That's going to raise rebellion. I'm a leader. It's very different. You gain their respect, you gain the relationship, you strengthen the bond, and then that doesn't happen. So yeah, they don't rebel. My son this is really floored me. I didn't see this coming. And I had a lot of experience with troubled teens and everything. I did not see this. So I thought I knew teenagers. My son was 15 and he said to me, he was kind of upset. And he said, you've been a really difficult mom to have. And I thought it was great. So I said, why? And he says, because I've got nothing to rebel against. You're too reasonable and easy to talk to. He needed to rebel. He had nothing to rebel against because I was too reasonable and easy to talk to. So I said, fine, go clean your room. And he never did. Rebellion taken care of. My only rule was no food or dirty clothes in his room because I didn't want to become rat infested. So that was it. But yeah, they don't rebel when you're a leader. They just don't. Why would they? They got nothing to rebel against. So be reasonable and easy to talk to. I'm going to do a video on that. Rebel, teens, be reasonable and easy to talk to. There's a whole process. If you want my help, you have to hire me to go through all that because I have to find out what kind of parent you are now. I need history to get context to know where to send you because we don't just start disciplining teenagers. We work on your bond. That's what we do. The first 2 weeks are just your bond. Then by the 3rd week, we might start to address other stuff. But you got to strengthen your bond with your teenager before you can get any results. Okay. I always tell my 4-year-old son to buy only one toy or chocolate, but suddenly he wants to take all the toys and chocolates. Why is he just buying chocolates and toys? A 4-year-old. It's like here you can have one cigarette and then they want a whole pack. I don't understand. Why is he buying? Is it birthdays and Christmas only? Or is he actually literally getting toys and chocolates all the time? You're building that. You're building that. That entitlement is what you're doing there. Oh, someone on YouTube. I've got someone on YouTube. My audience is on TikTok. That's why you only see that side of my face. Okay. It's funny because I look so much younger on TikTok. TikTok uses an automatic filter. I've tried to get rid of it because being old is an advantage in my business. So, but I can't get rid. I don't know how to get rid of the filter. I look younger on there. You go on YouTube, I look like I'm 80. I aged 20 years on that screen. Okay. Not that you don't care how I look, but it's just age is an advantage in my business. Okay. Because when I first started 17 years ago, I was younger than some of my clients. And so now no one's older than me. Okay. John Wilkes Booth. Hi, John Wilkes Booth. Uh, my son just had the first outburst. He got given a 2020 Mercedes for his birthday. Oh, you're not talking. I'm not going to discuss that, you silly guy. Silly John. I'm not going to discuss that. Okay. Okay. Real parenting questions here. That reminds me of years ago, there was a Frasier episode, and this guy called in and he had a problem for Dr. Frasier Crane on the Frasier. So you might not know it because you're younger, but anyway. And the guy said, "I got a real problem, Dr. Crane." He said, he says, "I bought this new $1 million boat, and my wife and I are fighting over what to name it." That question reminded me of that. And then Dr. Crane says, he says, "Okay, there is a something out there, I don't know, an atom," and he goes, "It's so small." He said that it's larger than a microscope. It was this really powerful microscope, and he says you would need that to find my interest in your story, in your problem. If you're buying a brand new Mercedes for your 20-year-old, you're asking for it. Okay. How do you deal with a teenager who says they hate you? Well, that just means that they don't respect you. You got to work on your bond. Work on your bond. It's not about telling them what not to do. It's about working on your respect. You got to get their respect before you can deal with anything like that. Like, I never heard that from my kids, like, because they respected me and because I respected them. You got to give it before you get it. Okay. Uh, When do you need a nap? When do you break a nap from a 1-year-old? When do you break a nap? So stop a 1-year-old from napping. Well, my kids both stopped regular naps at 12 months old. They didn't need a lot of sleep. So, and they didn't sleep a lot at night either. So they just didn't need, they weren't super active kids. They were just normal kids. But anyway, so they had accidental naps all the time, but they didn't have regular naps. Now, that's one of those things that there is no answer for that. No one can answer that because no one would have said to me, "Oh, at 12 months old, they're going to stop napping." When do you ever hear that, right? There's so many exceptions to all that stuff. Just use your gut, use your instinct. Okay, when I ignore my 3-year-old's tantrums, they don't end. She could cry for hours without end. That means she's in charge. So she knows eventually she can get you. But there's other stuff that goes on. If she's going on for hours and hours, you must be giving it some attention sometimes. It must have worked in the past. So yeah, I don't know exactly what to do if it's driving you that. Lots of them do that, by the way, because that means they're trying to get the old you back. They're going to fight harder. Things get worse before they get better. So yeah, if you want my help with that, there's other stuff going on for sure. So you might want to hire me. That might just be one session. Do you teach boys how to be gentlemen? Yes and no. I mean, I teach kindness. My son was in grade 2, and the teacher said to him, "Why are you so nice?" And he said, "Mummy makes us be nice." You're darn right. So yeah, I taught them both that if someone older gets on a bus, you get up. You don't, you give them your seat. I just taught them both to be polite, like well-mannered. I'm pretty confident they're 33 and 28. They go out in the world. I'm sure they're holding doors for people. So it wasn't just about teaching him to be a gentleman. It was about teaching them both to be kind. My son, one time, this was so funny. I always taught my kids, if you ever see anyone disabled or handicapped in any kind of struggle with doors, or because sometimes they're trying to open up a door, but they're behind it or something. And I say, you go over and you always say to them, "Can I help you?" Or "Do you want my help?" You never just go out and grab their arm. You say, "Do you want my help?" My son said that one time he put his arm out for this older woman to go, and she hit him. I said, "Yeah, they're going to do that sometimes," because I often help people who are disabled, and oftentimes they just go, and I'll say, "Oh," I said, "So you okay now?" They go, "Yeah, whatever." They really can be quite rude. They're not always grateful, but you don't do it to get thanks. You do it just because that's being kind, right? So you don't do it to get the appreciation. You do it just because it's an act of kindness. So yeah, I didn't teach him to be a gentleman. I taught them both to be polite and thoughtful. They're not perfect. None of us are perfect, but I'm pretty sure if they saw someone in strife, they would. I'm always the first one over. I've always been like that, but I'm pretty sure my kids would be over there too if someone was ever in trouble. I always remembered this story. It's such a beautiful story. There was this person was just telling this story. I don't know where it was. I just read it somewhere. They were telling this story about they were on the bus every single day, and it was in a very wealthy area. I know the area here. And this very classy lady got on the bus every day. And she only went like a few blocks, and she was very elegant, very obviously very wealthy, very elegant woman. Never talked to anyone. She just sat on the bus every day. But oh no, pardon me, she'd never been on there. That was it. She'd never been on there. But every single day there was the same people all the time. And I guess this woman's car had broken down or something. That's why she was on the bus. It was probably in the shop. So anyway, but there was this one guy who was mentally disabled, and he was always asking everybody to read this book with him because he wanted people to read to him. And no one ever did. They were like really annoyed by him. And, they were always, oh no, later, I don't have time. Or they were looking away from him. So this woman, they all noticed this woman. She got on this true story. She got on the bus and she didn't know how to get on or anything. And she sits down because she'd never probably been on a bus before. Very elegant woman. And of course, this guy zeroed in on her. The whole bus is watching. They think, how is, this poor woman? He was evidently really grubby and just spitting in her face, talking like just really, a lot, right? A lot to take in. So anyway, he comes over with the book and she sat and read to him. They said, now that is class. I remembered that. I thought that's class. Like she sat and read to him. No one else did. And then after that, everyone else did too. She was never on the bus again, but everyone else did too. They thought she had set a beautiful example for everybody else. Isn't that classy? Like, I love that story. Acts of kindness. You can't go wrong with that. Okay. I've had her on a routine since she was 6 months with naps. Routines change, by the way. They just do. Life changes. People, they grow up. She's not going to be napping when she's 16 either. Like you know what I mean? Like routines change. You have to go with it. Just when I thought I had my kids figured out, I thought, oh, finally, I've got a routine down. Sure enough, they'd teethe or something would throw them off, or they'd get sick or whatever. Something would happen. And it was like, oh, so much for that routine. They're always changing. So annoying. Just figured it all out. Watching from PH. PH. What's that? It's not Port Hardy. What's PH? Is that Philadelphia? No. Huh. I'll look out for it. What's PH? 18-month-old hits herself in the head a lot. Is this normal? Yeah, it's normal. Toddlers are crazy. They don't make any sense. I was talking about this earlier, and I was saying how I'm going to get something going, a membership club. I'm just going to throw it out there and give it a go and see if anyone joins. It's going to be, I'm going to be charging for it because I'm going to be doing group coaching, but it's just going to be a Zoom session with toddler parents. And I'm going to call it something like Talking About Toddlers, because I've realized parents of toddlers don't need answers because toddlers are crazy. There's not always something you can do with them. But I think it would help you to see every other parent and just talk about it, because I think it's the emotional part that's almost more difficult. It's, because you think, what am I doing wrong? You're not. They're just toddlers. They're just crazy. So anyway, I don't know when I'm going to get that out, but I'm really thinking about doing that. If you're interested, let me know. Do you have a degree in growth and development? No, but a lot of my clients do. Child development degrees. Child psychologists, teachers, principals. I just am experience-based. We're so critical of ourselves. Oh, absolutely. I'm getting better. That's the thing. I'm in my 60s now. When you get older, you're so good to yourself. Like, I really like myself now. I don't look in the mirror as much as I used to, but I always say, I had my day. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I like myself. I'm a good person, and you get to that point, I don't expect as much from myself anymore. But yeah, when you're younger, you are very critical of yourself. I agree. I was terrible. How do you cope with a defiant 16-year-old that won't listen to anything that you say? Well, boy, you're not going to like my answer. Are they defiant, or are you just not a leader? Which is it? I'm suggesting you're just not a leader. It's all on you. It's all up to you. It's your responsibility. You're the parent. You're the adult. Work on your leadership skills. You probably hate me now. You're probably going to, that's fine. But if you want my help, you have to hire me with that. I'll teach you how to be a leader. But yeah. Like, why are you giving her stuff to be defiant against? You know what I mean? It's a whole thing. You got to work on the leadership stuff. Okay. I try to talk to myself like I would talk to a friend. Yeah. And you know what? I remember when I was younger, I was born old. I was always responsible. I'm very silly and goofy, but I was always very responsible. And I used to try and do that. I'd talk to myself like I talk to a friend. But really, as you get old, I don't know what it is. I didn't understand this until I got this age. It was after menopause this really kicked in. And I thought, wow, you just are so at peace with who you are. You just get, or I am anyway. I like myself. I'm a good person. And you're just at peace with yourself. You know who you are. They call it set in your ways, but sometimes it's kind of a negative connotation, which can be true. I'm very open to new things, though, in my personal life, especially. I'm very, oh, that sounds like fun. Oh, I'm going to try that. But I know what I do and don't like, too. I've done enough in this life that I know what I don't like. But yeah, you just are so nice to yourself. I don't know if you can get that until you get old. I don't know. I never found it until I was old. Um, bu- 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 Oh, Philippines. Oh, okay, thank you. Philippines. Beautiful story. Yeah, wasn't that gorgeous? Wasn't she a class act, eh? And they were all judging her. They thought she'd be a snob. They were all worried that she was, just going to be horrified by this guy. And she was just so lovely. That was funny. Okay. 4-year-old, he's a normal child. Well, what's normal? We're all nuts, right? That's the way I like to look at it. But he's always flapping his hands when excited. How do I stop that? That's okay. Is that a big deal? He gets excited, he goes like that? I don't think that's a big deal. But if it bothers you, I don't know what to tell you with that, because I wouldn't want to. That's something I wouldn't want to put a damper on. If he's having fun and he's flapping his hands and he's happy, I don't know if I'd want to, put a pin in his balloon kind of thing. So I don't know what to say to that, because I think if a kid's happy, I don't want to interfere in that. What's the best way to build a toddler's confidence? Is leadership. Absolutely 100%. Be consistent, be a calm leader, lots and lots and lots of love and attention. And I'm very demonstrative. My kids, they always knew how treasured they were. And I'm sure your kids do too. So long as they know that you can ignore tantrums, they're not affected by that. They just learn. You're kind of guiding them into the light all the time. Like you ignore the bad or ignore the crazy when they're having a tantrum and reward the good, like the calm. So they just learn. But yeah, just be a calm leader and consistent. Like my kids, when they were little, they definitely would have pushed dad around more, for sure. Not if I was home, though. They wouldn't have. But they know, they learn from a very young age they can push. He was a great dad, but I was the leader. I was the disciplinarian, and they just knew. Okay, mine does the same. I'm wondering to this day if it's normal. Yeah, I don't know. I can't assess that. 3-year-old kept on screaming to the point that I need to scream too. Well, that's why they keep screaming, because they know you're going to join in. If they know you're never going to join in, it peters out. It loses its power. So yeah, that's what that says to me. They're pushing for you to join in. But if you never do, they'll stop. It takes time though. It's not going to happen the first day, maybe not even the first couple of weeks, maybe even not the first 3 weeks. You just have to be willing to go through the storm to get to the rainbow. And the storm always gets worse before you get to the rainbow. It's like you're going along and you're struggling, okay? Then you hire me, and then you're struggling 10 times harder in the first 2 weeks usually, because you're going through that storm. The kids are going, wait a minute, I remember the old you used to give in all the time. The new you isn't giving in. Sometimes it's a honeymoon phase too, but often it's a nightmare phase, the hell week, I call it. The hell week can be the first or the second week, but yeah, you got to be willing to go through the storm. They're going to fight to get control like they had in the past, but that's not going to happen. That's because you're learning how to be a leader, and leaders are very calm. Not when you're having fun, but when you're disciplining and they're acting out. I whisper. My kids used to say, if my mom ever whispers, run, because that's when I'm disciplining. It's like, I'll tell you what, here's what's going to happen. They both had Ann Walker for a teacher in grade 3. She was the teacher all the other teachers went to. She was older. She was such a good teacher. But she would whisper if she was trying to get the class's attention. They couldn't even hear her if they were when they were first new with her. They would, they didn't know her, so they might have got out of control. And she would just start whispering. She'd go like this, "I'll tell you what," and they'd all start to go quiet, like she would whisper. My son came home and said, "She's just like you," but we both knew how to get respect. But yeah, whispering is powerful. But you got to back it up with all this other stuff too, right? It's not just whispering. It's not kid whispering. I might get going. How long? Yeah, I've been on here for a while now. If you go to my website, it's bratbusters.com. You can hire me for coaching, buy one of my courses, or download my free behavior board. I am considering getting out. I've just thought about this. I think it was yesterday. I just came up with this idea. So I was saying to my daughter, most of the people on TikTok seem to have toddlers, and I don't have a course out. I don't even really. I'm not inspired to even do a course on toddlers because it's just this would be it. Toddlers are crazy. The end. They are, but that's not all I can talk about with toddlers, but that's kind of my standard answer. But I thought, if I got like a membership club where we're just doing weekly Zooms together and you can just talk about toddlers and I can answer your questions, but you can see each other and support one another. Wouldn't that be great? Anyway, I'm thinking about doing that. I might throw it out there, see who joins, and then just give it a test run. Because if I only get one person who joins, then that's like one-on-one coaching, right? It'll be like a monthly membership, I think. Anyway, that's what I just thought of that yesterday. I just thought if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Toddler parents are not okay right now. The only reason toddler parents are struggling so much is you're new at parenting. You don't really get that they're just all feet, no brains. It's your interpretation of your toddler that's out of whack. They're just crazy. They're going to do stuff. They might even stick their hands in their pants and smear poop on the wall. For some toddlers, that's completely normal, but it drives parents insane. But once you've had older kids, it never bothers you. They're just like, oh, well, they're just toddlers. That's what happens. All my clients who have toddlers and they hire me with their older kids never even discuss the toddlers. Isn't that interesting? They never even discuss them. They could be climbing the walls and they're going, oh, well, toddlers. They've already lived through it. So it's like they just understand toddlers are just all feet, no brains. But anyway, yeah, I was thinking that that might be a really good idea. So I'll look into doing. I'm just so busy. I'll look into doing that, though. I'm not too busy to talk to you. I'm too busy. It's the back end setting all this up is what I hate doing. That's what stops me. Anyway, so, okay, I'm going to get going. Like I said, my website's bratbusters.com. There's lots of stuff on there. And my new course is out now. If you have 3 to 12-year-olds, it teaches you how to be a calm leader in 5 weeks. And anyway, so thanks so much. And I'll talk to you. Oh, how to help kids lose weight without making it a focal point. I can talk about that. Just a sec. I just want to address that one because that can be really difficult, right? How to help kid lose weight without get them into fitness. Let's go for a walk. Let's get up a half hour before school. Fitness. Focus on that. Okay, that's my advice. I'm really into health and fitness. And yeah, focus on the fitness, not the food. And also make, oh no, I can't get into it. I don't like talking about nutrition because I'm not a nutritionist, so I won't get into that. But yeah, fitness, just go out for walks. Do it with them though. But yeah, make it fun. So gotta go. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye now.